Hello everybody, this is Drew Kelly. Got some gameplay footage here of how to play a French battleship. The key to these are speed, maneuverability, and flanking. These are not frontline ships, they are not backline ships. They don't have the armor to take the constant HE spam that's thrown around nowadays. So if you just try and charge straight into the enemy, don't expect to last too long. And if you just sit at the back, you're just not going to do enough damage. They're just nowhere near accurate enough. Now, a little disclaimer at the time of this recording, the commander skill rework had not been released. I believe that's patch 10.0.1, I believe. I know somebody's going to correct me on that if it's wrong. How you would play this ship is to find gaps in the enemy's line. You don't want to go around the front, and you don't want to go all the way around the side if you don't have to. Just find a gap is what you need to do. And Captain Anna here, who is in my division, he's going to go down the 6th line here, and he's going to try and contest B cap. What that's going to do is prevent anybody from crossing from from west to east. And the chain of islands you see down the 7 line, they're going to protect my side for the most part from people trying to shoot at me from the west, from what is A cap and B cap. Now, how this is all going to work best is speed and maneuverability. You cannot get stuck fighting at a distance. You want to get around so you have everybody's broadside. You need to push hard, but you also need to be paying attention to the map. Now you'll notice here, down towards A cap, right around, let's see, G4, G5, the Fletcher was spotted. And now that's important because they only have one DD, so I don't have to worry about the DD aspect. I can actually push forward fairly freely without risk of being torpedoed. He's got a long distance to cover to get back to me. There is a CV in play, but it's a tier lower than me, so really it's not that big of a deal. What I want to do is try and sneak my way down to the point where I've got all their sides and I got them trapped down there by C cap. And I can already see that one ship has gone down that way. So what I'm going to try and do is just poke my nose out here, see if anything else detects me, because I don't want to be just a sitting duck. I want to be on the move, but I don't want to be spotted. So, yep, haven't been detected yet. It's time to go in. There's a Neptune, and eventually you're going to see a Cleveland down in that area. Oh, there goes the Musashi, so we know where they all are. The Musashi's lined himself way wide, and they don't have anybody in the middle, because we can now see that the Frederick de Grossa is pushing back to the west. So, as I sit here, they can't shoot me, can't return fire at all. I'm clear to push up as close and as fast as I can. I need to get these guys broadside, otherwise I'm putting my entire team here at risk, because we got several cruises over here, and that Musashi will make very short work of them. It'd be really nice if, I don't know, say a German battleship over there, the Bismarck, would push down the 910 line, but unfortunately that's not to be. So I'm going to have to do all this by myself. German battleships and French battleships synchronize very well. German battleships do very good at frontline warfare in World of Warships, and obviously you got us to flank and get around to their broadside. Gonna put a nice juicy shot out on this Musashi. Doesn't realize what's going on yet, but he will soon enough. And Neptune's already smelled what's going on. He's gonna bail from his smoke and rush out right in front of me. And that's the exact situation we want. We want to get around to their side, expose them so that they're extremely vulnerable. We're basically cutting around them using our maneuverability. Now I want to prioritize my targets here. Yes, I had the side of the Musashi, but the cruisers are a much bigger threat because of their sustained DPS. The Alsace only has something like 32 millimeters of deck armor, so these guys, the Neptune and the Cleveland, if left alone, will melt through my entire health pool with no time at all. I wouldn't even be able to make 50k damage before they killed me. So I need to take care of them first, starting with the Neptune because he has torpedoes. Speaking of torpedoes, that detected icon, if you pay attention to it, you'll notice he just stopped targeting me. That's because he just switched to his torpedoes. So I'm going to slow down and turn to the right, get out of the way of them because he's targeting me with his guns again. And oh, that's when the RNG hits me. Bunch of overpins. It's alright, because he just met Mr. Island, and we're going to go ahead and keep pushing. I'm keeping myself slightly angled, not directly nose in, and there goes his torpedoes, all missed. I'm going to keep myself slightly angled against that Musashi. For the simple fact that if I point my nose directly at him, he's going to go right through my nose, no problem. And I'll just use citadels all day long. And there goes the Neptune. Time to take out the Cleveland. But if I go full broadside, he'll citadel me again. This way, I'm only taking, penetration damage, regular penetration, no citadels. So while the Musashi is a danger right now, I need to get rid of these cruisers. But the whole time, I'm still progressing towards that Musashi as fast as I can. Alright, now it's time to handle this guy. He doesn't quite realize the danger he's in yet, so he takes another shot at my cruisers over here. But then it's going to dawn on him just what is going on. He thinks I'm going to park and just stay nose in. But that's not the case. This is a flanking battleship. I want to get around his side. Take a shot, try and knock out his guns. But I want to keep the AP loaded. I don't want to use HE right now because I want citadel damage. I need that ready in case he shows me the cheeks underneath the number 2 turret on his ship. If I can see the cheek underneath that, I can citadel him. He's almost there, but not quite. Don't feel quite comfortable. These are only 380 millimeter guns on this ship, so they don't quite have the overmatch potential that they struggle with penetration, especially on ships like this. But this is where the maneuverability of this ship really comes to shine and really saves us. See, now the Musashi can see the writing on the wall, starts to turn in, realizes he's made a mistake, starts to turn back, but it's too late. Let's give him a little bit of that cheek. Alright. Now, we need to get around him as fast as possible before he reloads. His guns turn really slow, but I need to get my citadel away from him. I can heal regular damage, but I can't heal citadel. And he's shot, and it went clear through the stern of my ship. That one was close, though. But I've managed to successfully do it. And from there, it's just as simple putting him down. Now from here, what I want to do is find another avenue of approach. This engagement is over. Now it's time to engage the rest of the team. We've cleaned up this whole side. So I'm going to start turning around here, and I'm going to be looking around at all the different targets out there. I want to find targets of opportunity once they come into range. I don't want to just focus on one single target. If I see the broadside of a ship, that's a good target. Just sitting there throwing HE at the nose of a ship is no bueno unless you have no other choice. You want to be looking around. As a battleship, your role is large alpha damage. That's your specialty. You use it. Don't just sit there and throw 3k volleys at the nose of a battleship. Also, when you see a destroyer, don't be afraid to pop that HE, or even if you have AP loaded, grab that AP and sling it at him. Shoot that destroyer. I know you're in a battleship, you may only get one shell, you may miss another target, but most destroyers can't heal, and their modules are very easy to not just knock out, but to destroy. If you destroy, I've been in a Shimakaze before and had all of my torpedoes destroyed. It's the most infuriating feeling ever because you're just useless. You're not scary whatsoever. Take some shots at him, get an incapacitation of fire. His engine's knocked out. Uh, not quite 900 damage. But you know what? I'll take it. Because he doesn't have a very large health pool to begin with, and he's the single biggest threat to me right now. Get rid of my HE against the Turpits. Didn't have time to expert reload the AP. And unfortunately no fires. But that's alright. Now, here's our all-star. I want you to pay attention to Mr. Shores up there. This is a very prime example of how not to play a Shores. Just watch what this guy does. He's got a very paper-thin ship. If you look at the mini-map, you'll see that their battleships are heading north and south, and what that's doing is creating a large opening for me right down the E and F line, right in between those islands. And I've decided now that's my avenue of approach. That's how I'm going to push through and really rattle things up. I'm going to try and take those cruisers out, and if the battleships still happen to be there, I'll work on them as well. Most likely the Frederick the Great up there at the top. This poor Shore sure knows how to take a beating. Just doesn't have the ship for it, unfortunately. And you'll probably see me looking around here. I'm looking for other targets of opportunities, but I'm also kind of concerned because I haven't spotted that Fletcher in quite a while. Don't worry, we're going to see more of him. No idea where those shots went. So at this point, I'm permanently detected. So the Shores could have eyes on me, but also the Fletcher could too. Well, let me rephrase that. The Shores does have eyes on me. But I don't know whether the Fletcher does or does not have direct line of sight, so I'm getting pretty nervous. And that's when all of a sudden he pops up 7 kilometers away, right in front of me. I wonder why. So I pump the brakes and I turn to the left in anticipation of torpedoes, and there they are. Now I don't have to worry about his torpedoes anymore, and Mr. Shores is not long for this world. So my next point to do is to charge straight into that cap and to bully that other cruiser as much as possible. The Frederick the Great and the Turpits have gone down, so that only leaves a handful of ships to clean up. It's garbage time. Used up all of my heals, but that's alright. Now, they've dropped a smoke screen up ahead, and at this point I hadn't realized that the Atlanta on my team had already used his radar. So I see the smoke screen, get turned nice and wide, guns ready, locked on position, start asking for intelligence, and unfortunately nothing. So if you have radar, make sure you use it when more than just you can shoot at the target. Always save that. But fortunately, when I get detected by the planes, Algery decides to make a critical mistake. He shoots at me, and that auto detects him. Still concerned about the Fletcher. He's my priority target in this. Remember, you always want to shoot destroyers first. But since he happens to be there, well, there you go. Oh, and there goes the Fletcher. Try and get around. Even one single hit is better than none on him. And the Algery goes down. That only leaves the destroyer and the cruiser. Sorry, the carrier. And here comes his torpedoes. Hadn't quite expected them this soon, just too into the heat of it, but I was also concerned about torpedoes coming out of that smoke screen. So, one's alright. We're ready. High maneuverability here, so we're able to turn and dodge the second set. Minimize our damage intake. At this point, I finish off the Fletcher, take care of the very dangerous Graf Zeppelin. He's got nasty secondaries, and we managed to pull out a victory. I hope you guys enjoyed this video here today, and I hope you take this and learn from it. It's a pretty good video to demonstrate how to do this. French battleships are very rewarding if you figure out how to play them effectively, but you gotta prioritize your targets and pay attention to your surroundings and rely upon your maneuverability. Alright, thanks for watching.